What is the worst Second Doctor story? Hello, and welcome to another video. Now, a while back I did what is the worst Sixth Doctor story. So this time around I thought I'd take a look at the era of the Second Doctor. One of my favourite Doctors. The problem with the Sixth Doctor era, of course, was there's not really that many stories to choose from. The problem with the Second Doctor story is that there's not really that many stories to choose from, not because they weren't made, but because most of them were not, then don't exist anymore, which is a problem. Now, I'm loath to, as much as I don't like a lot of the animations, I'm loath to kind of choose a fully animated story or even mostly animated story like, say, the Faceless Ones and say, oh, that's one of the worst, because I didn't like the animation. It bored the shit out of me. But, I always kind of previously enjoyed the extant live action ones, so I'm kind of loath to choose something like the Faceless Ones because I don't think the animation really gives an accurate kind of depiction of what the story is really like, and so that strikes me as a bit dubious. Likewise, something like the Space Pirates we can't even watch at all except for one episode, and again I don't really think a bunch of static photographs really encapsulate what the story would have been like to watch. Not that I can sit through static photograph recons anyway. So that leaves us with not that many to choose from in regards to picking a worst. Now, one of the prime candidates, I would have said, unfortunately, is the Underwater Menace. I say unfortunately because I always really enjoyed episode 3 when that was all we had of it. Was it on the Troughton years, or was that something else? Or did we not see it till Lost in Time? I can't remember now. But I always enjoyed episode 3. I always thought it was funny, and I always kind of hoped that would be a kind of Horns of Nimon of the 60s, and I mean that in a good way. When we got episode 2, I was a little less keen because it seemed a bit dull and not as much fun. And again, when I watched the part animated version, I still stuck with the live action ones because why wouldn't you? I did find it excruciatingly dull. I would say that's one of the prime candidates. Much more so than something like Space Pirates, which doesn't exist, and so I really don't think you can actually judge it in any way accurately. And Underwater Menace is at least 50% there. That being said, no. Now, I know some people would probably point their fingers accusingly at the Croutons. I don't really consider that. At worst, back in the day, I used to find it a little bit on the dull side, but not massively hideously unwatchable or anything. And then the last time I saw it a few years ago, I actually really enjoyed it. So no, I wouldn't seriously contemplate the Croutons. No, I in all honesty, I think there's really only one candidate for the worst Troughton story. I have seen some people defend it and say it's fun. I never liked it, even as a kid, and these days I find it impossible to sit through. The Dominators. It has to be the Dominators, really, doesn't it? I mean, not even sexy little Zoe in that little dress can really maintain my attention for 5 episodes of that plodding, dreary, moronic shite. It just can't. I don't know. I just find the Dominators really boring, really dull. I love the regulars. I mean, I love Pat and Jamie and sexy little Zoe. But this is their worst story. It's got to be. I mean, I don't mind the Croutons. I'm not a big fan of Seeds of Death. I find the Ice Warriors more enjoyable than Seeds. But it's better made, I would say. I just find very little in any way redeeming about the Dominators. I just think it's a very boring story. Nothing happens in it very much. The guest cast are kind of drippy and uninteresting. And it just kind of drags on for 5 episodes of just mind-numbing tedium. And again, not even sexy little Zoe in that little dress can keep me awake for over 2 hours of that stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry. While I can accept other candidates like the Underwater Menace, I don't accept Space Pirates because it doesn't exist. Everybody said the same thing about Enemy of the World, and then they all changed their mind when they actually saw it. So I think any judgment against the Space Pirates is deeply misguided and flawed without actually being able to see it. And again, I can't really justify the animations as well, especially since most of them are of such poor quality that they really don't give you any real indication of what the story would really have been like. So as much as the Underwater Menace bored the shit out of me when I saw it last year, I'm going to have to give the worst Second Doctor story to the Dominators. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you again soon.